Okay, here we go. Starting with Matt Harris. Hey, Matt. Matt has a non-political question. How do you celebrate Thanksgiving in the Whittle household? What does Natasha think of the holiday? You could ask her. She's watching. She better be watching. It's my favorite holiday. We've had a couple of really quiet ones. There is some news to share, and that is that I learned that when I actually breathe, my voice gets a little more deep and interesting. Isn't that clever? So I'm going to have to do a little more breathing in the future. We had a quiet year last year. We're going to have a quiet year this year. But 2 years ago, not long after she arrived in September, we went to down to Orange County, and I don't want to say that I cooked the traditional Thanksgiving meal, but I did assemble it out of pieces made by Boston Market, and had a chance to introduce, well, I don't know, 6, 7, 3, 4, at least 6 Russians to their first Thanksgiving dinner and what it was all about, and that's just my favorite meal in the world. The turkey dinner is just my favorite meal in the world. My Aunt Marty's not with us anymore because if she was, I would drive to Pennsylvania just to get the yam. She takes about 4 days to cook those things, I think. Otherwise it's pretty quiet, and that's okay. It's a real personal holiday. I know Natasha likes it. I like it. There's obviously an awful lot to be grateful for. But the one thing that I keep noticing, watching, seeing America through the eyes of my Russian wife, is just how fundamentally happy most people are, really friendly anyway. We tend to shop late at the supermarket. We're there when they're stacking the boxes, and they're just horsing around, and you got 15 guys in there just doing nothing but nasty work of hauling out these big enormous cartons and putting big tins and stuff on the shelves, and everybody's laughing and joking and kidding around, and we take so much of it for granted that it's really hard to appreciate just how kind of novel and unique that is. That's certainly why we keep doing what we do here. I'd like to keep things that way. As I think I mentioned on the Thanksgiving show, there's so much that's been chipped away, and they continue to chip away. But it's a pretty big rock, Most of the stuff is still here, and still able to say whatever we want to about pretty much anything we want to, and in my case, because of membership, anything I want to. And we don't have to worry about getting mortared on the way to the supermarket or anything else like that. So it's great. It's great to live in a country where at least half the country still believes in the things that made it possible. Of course, this holiday can't be taught anymore, except as another example of our ability to exterminate the Indians. One thing I did learn since last Thanksgiving is I learned an awful lot more about the Puritans. I got really heavily into the English Civil War for about a month there, and Oliver Cromwell, and kind of the philosophical basis for the people that stepped off of the Mayflower. We always have that image. It's indelibly printed on our minds on Thanksgiving. You got the guy coming off the boat in the black pants and the black jacket with the little white collar and the tall black hat. And these are what pilgrims are. And we know pilgrims are religious, but that's pretty much about it. Why don't we know more really about what they believed? And they never teach it. It was a really amazing philosophy, and as I understand it, in England, exceedingly democratic for the time. Took the Reformation, Protestantism, about as far as it could go. We don't need any. We don't need churches in terms of steeples. We don't need any ornamentation. We talk directly to God through Jesus, and there you go. But it is it was a strict religion, and a lot of people are on the left, especially, are constantly denouncing our Puritan background. But there would be no America without the Puritan background. I don't think the entire idea of a country that could be governed on its own because the people were fundamentally virtuous was revolutionary and unique. And many other places were settled by other countries that didn't have that belief, and they didn't turn out as well. So anyway, it's just an amazing thing to live here. Just to be able to live here is a really remarkable gift, and for the life of me, I cannot imagine living anywhere else. There's certainly no place else I'd like to go. You think about things going really south in America, and maybe going to New Zealand or Canada or something like that, and it's like, I don't know, man. There's an awful lot of Montana and Wyoming out there, and the Dakotas, and I've flown over a fair amount of it, and I just love this country, and I don't intend to give it up. So despite the fact that California is in for more man-made earthquakes in the form of Gavin Newsom, and the homeless situation just out of control and more every day, it's unbelievable how filthy this town is, and San Francisco's worse by all accounts. But there's always Texas and Nevada and a bunch of other solid, sensible places. I almost included Arizona in that, but after the last election, I'm not quite so sure. So they wanted a communist, they're going to get their communist. We'll see how it works out for them. Anyway, so Matt, it's pretty quiet for us, and we kind of celebrate Thanksgiving pretty much every day. I was certainly aware of it. And it's especially hard on my beautiful wife because, she's gone a little over 2 years away from your country, and right around then that homesickness really kicks in, and it's it's hard. If I was living in Moscow for 2 years, I don't know what I would do. I know for a certain fact I would find as many loud and stupid Americans as I possibly could, and spend a lot of time, singing the theme song from Gilligan's Island with those guys. But it's an amazing life. I never had any idea I could be this happy, and yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. And I like this year a lot better than I like last year, and I like last year better than the year before. So that's a good trend. Let's see, moving down here.